Good afternoon, my dear students. In the previous videos, we concentrated our attention on the discussion and analysis of various economic growth theories, right from classical economic growth theory to most modern growth theories and models. Let us now divert our attention from economic growth theories to the other uh, most alarming issues and problems of underdeveloped countries that include income inequality and poverty. So in this video we will discuss income inequality as well as poverty. So uh, in the coming few videos we will discuss these issues in greater details. So this video lecture would like to look for the answers of the following questions. How much inequality and poverty exist? What are the problems measuring inequality? What are some of the leading philosophies on the proper role of government in altering the income distribution? What policies are used to fight poverty, and what are problems with these policies? So, beginning with the introduction, if you look at the analysis of the labor market, then we know that equilibrium wage rates are equal to the value of labor marginal product. So the value of labor margin productivity equals to the wage paid to the labor in equilibrium. Differences in equilibrium wages results from differences in the following. Uh, these include worker characteristics that further include education, experience, talent, effort, and so on. And then there are job characteristics which also lead to differences in equilibrium wages. To what extent to which a job is pleasant and safe. So if a job is pleasant, then people are willing to accept lower wages, but if it is not safe or if it is risky, then people expect higher wage rates. Some earning differences also are because of discrimination. Even in the absence of discrimination, the income distribution in a laissez-faire economy or market economy or in strictly speaking sense in the mixed economy may not be equitable or otherwise desirable. So the income distribution, particularly in less developed countries, are alarming and they are highly unequal. In this presentation, we examine indicators of inequality and poverty, philosophies about income distribution, policies designed to help the poor. So a question arises, why do we care about poverty and unequal income distribution? So here I quote from Tyler Cowen paper 2007, and it says, what matters most is how well people are doing in absolute terms. We should continue to improve opportunities for lower income people, but inequality as a major and chronic problem has been overstated. An unequal society cannot help but be an unjust society. So it means both poverty and inequality are one of the major issues in the world, especially the poor countries or the underdeveloped countries or less developed countries. Here is the US income distribution for the year 2006, and even in the US it has been reported that there is huge difference between the annual and household income of the bottom fifth group with the top 5%, and you see the difference. So income inequality is everywhere, but this issue or this problem is very severe in underdeveloped countries, including Pakistan. This is income inequality over time, and here income share of the top 20% is divided by income share of the bottom on these various points that are manifested in this figure or diagram. This is inequality around the world. According to this slide, uh, in Japan there is lower income inequality, and you see these are the countries where income inequality is not so severe. But if you go up along this ladder, then in Brazil there is high income inequality, followed by South Africa in this case, according to this data. We don't have data for Pakistan in this, but if we analyze the situation of income inequality in Pakistan we also have higher income inequality. So I'll devote a separate video for income distribution and income inequality in Pakistan. Uh, Regarding poverty, we may first discuss poverty line, which is an absolute level of income that is set by the government for each family size below which a family is deemed to be in poverty. And we have official poverty line in every country. Then there is poverty rate, and that is the percentage of the population whose family income falls below the poverty line. That is like a head count ratio. In the year 2006 in the US, median family income was 58,526 US dollars. And then poverty line for the family of four was 20,614 US dollars annually. And the poverty rate was 12.5 12.3%. But in case of developing and underdeveloped countries, this poverty rate is much more higher, and the ratio of population below poverty line is much higher. This is US poverty over time, and this shows percentage of the population below poverty line. This is US poverty rate by group. These are various groups like all persons: white, not Hispanic, black, Hispanic, Asian, children, elderly, married couple families, female household, no spouse present, and so on. There are certain problems associated with the measurement of inequality. Uh, One approach to help assist the poor is in-kind transfers, and this includes assistance that take the form of social contribution benefits, that is the provision of goods and services to them rather than grants or cash. And these are omitted from the measure of inequality and poverty by seeing them upward. The life cycle, the regular pattern of income variation over person's life. People can borrow and save to offset life cycle changes in income. For example, they may save for retirement. Similarly, there are some forced saving, or there is the pension schemes that are kind of saving for retirement. Life cycle income varies. Variation causes inequality in income, but not inequality in living standard. Then there is problem of transitory versus permanent income. Sometime uh, we get positive transitory income. Sometime we have negative transitory income, and that affect our permanent income. So there is problem regarding the income. So people can borrow and save to smooth out transitory income and fluctuation, and we usually do that if we have some kind of problems like accidents or sickness, or we need medical care in hospital, and our income is low. In that case, we may borrow, or we can save from our income so that it can smooth out transitory income fluctuations. A better measure of inequality in living standards would be based not on current income but on permanent income, and that is the person's normal income. My dear students, you may remember from macroeconomics the consumption theories. There are three important theories of consumption, that is absolute income hypothesis, which was propounded by James Tobbins, and then there was a relative income hypothesis that was developed by Dujan-Berry, and then there was permanent income hypothesis, and that was propounded by Milton Friedman. And this is one of the most important consumption theory, permanent income. So people usually keep in mind permanent income, and that is considered as a person's normal income. Economic mobility. Many people move among income classes. Sometimes they are in lower income class, and they may move up to middle income and high income. The poverty and inequality measures discussed above do not distinguish between the temporarily poor and the persistently poor. So these are problems with the measurement of inequality. There are some political philosophies of this redistribution of income. We will consider some of these here, and specifically there are three philosophies that are discussed regarding redistribution of income. Number one, utilitarianism, then we have liberalism, and then we have libertarianism. So we will discuss these three in greater detail in the coming slide. So we start with the utilitarianism, and utilitarianism includes the word utility, and from the textbook, from the very basic textbooks on microeconomics, by utility we mean the amount of satisfaction or utility that a person gets from the consumption of goods and services. So it's a kind of a measure of happiness or pleasure or satisfaction. This philosophy, this school of philosophy, argues that government should choose policies to maximize society's total utility. And this was founded by Jeremy Bentham and J.S. Mill. They were the advocates of this philosophy. Because of diminishing marginal utility, redistributing income from the rich to poor increases utility of the poor more than it reduces utility of the rich. So it means that if we redistribute income from rich to poor, the total utility of the society will increase. So this school of thought advocates the redistribution of income from rich to poor. However, utilitarians do not advocate equalizing incomes because, according to them, it would reduce total income of everyone due to incentive effects and efficiency loss. However, they strongly advocate some redistribution of income from rich people to poor people. Then we have liberalism, that is another philosophy of redistributing income. And this school of philosophy argues that government should choose policies which are deemed to be just by an impartial observer behind a veil of ignorance. John Rawls was the founder of this school of philosophy. There is one criterion known as Maximin criterion, which means that the government should aim to maximize the welfare of society's worst of person. It calls for more redistribution than utilitarianism, though still not complete equalization of income. Income redistribution is a form of social insurance, a government policy aimed to protect people against the risk of adverse and unforeseen emergencies. Then we discuss the third school of philosophy, that is libertarianism. Libertarianism argues that the government should punish crimes and enforce voluntary agreements but not redistribute income. So their thought is somewhat different from utilitarian and the liberals. The advocate of this school of thought is Robert Nozick. And according to Robert Nozick, instead of focusing on outcomes, libertarians focus on the process. And this process includes that the government should enforce individual rights and should try to equalize opportunities for all. If the income distribution is achieved fairly, government should do nothing and it shouldn't interfere, even if unequal. Uh, Policies to reduce poverty. Poor families are more likely to experience homelessness. They may be more dependent on drugs, which means that drug dependence among the poor families is much more worse than in high income families. They may have more health problems. They are also characterized by teen pregnancy, illiteracy, unemployment, poverty, and most people believe government should provide a safety net to poor families in almost all countries of the world, especially in the developed world. So we will consider several such policies in the coming slides. What is minimum wage laws? I think this is in almost every country of the world. In Pakistan, we also have minimum wage laws, and currently this monthly minimum wage rate was determined as 36,000 Pak rupees. There are some arguments for the minimum wage laws and some arguments against this. So first we discuss arguments for the minimum wage laws. These are the points on which we can advocate minimum wage laws, because minimum wage laws helps the poor without any cost to the government. There is little impact on employment if demand for unskilled labor is relatively inelastic. And there are certain arguments against minimum wage laws also. And these include, for example, that in the long run, demand for unskilled labor is likely elastic. So minimum wages cause substantial unemployment among the unskilled. Those helped by minimum wage are more likely to be teens from middle income families than low income adults workers. The second approach is, or the second policy to reduce poverty is that of welfare. Welfare, for example, means that government programs that supplement the incomes of the poor and needy people, and these may be in the form of temporary assistance for needy families, abbreviated as TNF, supplemental security income SSI. But critics of this program or this policy argue that such programs create incentives to become or remain needy, and they argue that welfare contributed to the rise of the single parent family. However, the severity of such incentive problems is unknown. And proponents of this policy note that the inflation adjusted welfare benefits fell as single parent families increased in the developed world. The third policy to reduce poverty is that of negative income tax. Negative income tax is a tax system that collects revenue from high income households and gives transfer to low income households. For example, there is one type of negative income tax that is known as tax owed, that is equal to 1/3 of income minus $10,000. If earning is equal to $90,000, then tax owed would be $20,000. If earnings are equal to $60,000, then tax is owed will be $10,000. And if these earnings are $30,000, then tax owed is 0. So as the earning are decreasing, then the tax owes also decrease. If earnings are 15%, then tax owed would be minus 5,000. So it means that they would receive 5,000 payment from the government if their income is 15,000 US dollars annually. The earned income tax credit is similar to a negative income tax. Then we have in-kind transfer payments. In-kind transfers are in the shape of goods and services provided to the needy people rather than given as grants or in cash. And the examples include shelters provided to the homeless people, soup kitchens, food stamps that include government vouchers redeemable for food at grocery stores, Medicare government provided health care for the poor. For example, we have health card in Pakistan. An alternative program would be cash payments, just like Benazir income support program, that would allow people to buy what they most need. But critics argue that that could be used for drugs, alcohol, or for any other reason which is not productive or may not be used in the best possible way. Then there are some anti-poverty programs and work incentives in the form of assistance from anti-poverty programs that decline as income rises. The result, poor families face high effective marginal tax rate, sometimes exceeding even 100% in some cases. Such policies therefore discourage the poor from escaping poverty on their own. One possible solution would be workfare, which is a system that requires people to accept government jobs while collecting benefits. Summing up this discussion, we may say that poverty is one of society's most serious problems and it must be addressed. Although it is impossible to completely eradicate poverty, but it could be minimized, it could be alleviated. One of the 10 principles from chapter 1 is that governments can sometimes improve market outcomes if there are market failures, and the government intervention may improve the outcome, and that may reduce income distribution as well as reduce poverty. Public policy can help reduce poverty and inequality. Another principle is people face trade-offs. Policies designed to improve equity often sacrifice efficiency, so the proper scope of policy is the subject of ongoing controversy. Summing up, data on income distribution show a wide disparity in our society. The richest 20% of family earn about more than 10 times as much as the poorest 20% earn. So problems in measuring inequality arise from in-kind transfers, the economic life cycle, transitory income, the economic mobility. When these factors are taken into account, the distribution of well-being is probably less unequal than the distribution of annual income that currently is available. Political philosophers differ in their views of the proper role of government in changing the income distribution. As we mentioned earlier, utilitarians believed that income distribution should maximize the sum of everyone's utility, whereas liberals believe the government should aim to maximize the well-being of the worst off person in society. And finally, we also saw the claim of libertarians who believed that the government should aim for equality of opportunity, not equality of income. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this was quite informative and useful for you. If you like this video, you may like and share this video. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, kindly do subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you can get timely notification about my other videos that I'll upload for you. Kindly share various videos of this channel in various WhatsApp groups with your friends, with your colleagues, and with your students so that they could also get benefit by watching these videos. Thank you and see you in another video.